And so, yeah, just I gotta say, I mean, I think that I know that the 54-51 Monday Night Football game in 2018 is considered the greatest Monday Night Football game ever, one of the greatest regular season games ever. I'm totally aware of that. I am. But at the same time, I just got to be honest with you guys. I feel like this is just better. I feel like this is a bigger win. And the reason I say that, I think this is the biggest win in Sean McVay, regular season win in Sean McVay's career. And the reason I say that is because, yeah, I'll put the shades on. Oh boy, where'd they go? No idea where they are. Not good. Where are the shades? I guess oh, there they are. I'll put on the victory shades. All right. Good call. So, man, yeah, I'm just going to wear him to bed at this point. What a win. But anyway, what I was saying is I think this is the best regular season win in the Sean McVay era. The reason being this was a 6-6 team and not an 11-0 or 11-1 or whatever the Rams were at that point. I think 11-0. No, this is a bigger win, and here's why. This team isn't considered anywhere near that level of the 2018 team. To go toe-to-toe with the Super Bowl contenders, maybe even Super Bowl favorites for a lot of people, Bills, and have that success that they had, I gotta give them a lot of credit. I thought Sean McVay went back to his roots. You saw a lot of jet motion. You saw a lot of end arounds and jet sweeps and wide receiver screens, and it just went back to his roots. And I think this is really the offense that they were trying to run the majority of the season. And I know people will ask, well, why did it take so long? Why didn't they do it beforehand? I'll be honest with you. I'll be entirely honest with you. You know why it took so long for them to do this? This is only the second game this year that they've had their desired starting five on the offensive line. So now you have your starting five offensive line, and immediately, look at this. You have 2 games to get acclimated, to gel, okay? And those starting five, Alaric Jackson, Steve Avila, Bo Limmer, Kevin Dotson, and Rob Havenstein allowed this many sacks. And this is just one of those special games that we just don't ever really see. The game last year was amazing, by the way, against the Ravens. Very similar to this one. And the thing that was so cool about that game is that was in the freezing cold weather of Baltimore. It was raining, heavy. People said they were just going to run the football. It was going to be ugly. Everyone thought ugly, right? I said ugly. Ends up being a shootout, ends in overtime. Rams lose. They ended up going on and winning every single game after that. But now the Rams won this game. They won the game that I didn't think they were going to win the rest of the year. I picked the Bills to win 34-24, and I could not be more proud that I'm wrong. I will wear this thing like a badge. I am so glad I'm wrong. And by the way, since I'm not at all, superstitious, I wore the same getup I wore when I watched the Eagles beat the Rams. I'm wearing literally the same sweatshirt. I'm wearing the chain. I'm wearing the same freaking khaki, pants. I mean, I'm rocking the same exact fit that I rocked when the Rams lost 37-20, because I don't believe any of that superstitious garbage. I don't believe that if you turned on Madden this morning and you played as the Rams against the Bills and you won, they would magically lose. But a lot of people do. I think this is what it comes down to. The Rams just really, they needed this, but we kind of were, maybe not everybody, because I know a lot of people, and shout out to you guys who believed in the Rams more than I did to win this game. But I think there were quite a lot of people that were just waiting for a game like this. And they went up against the Raiders. They went up against the Bears. They went up against the Dolphins. They went up against all these teams. Like, you would have expected them to score 30. They've barely done it this year. They had only done it once going into this game. They had only scored on the opening drive once going into this game. They did both today. They actually scored 44. And I looked before you ask, and if you weren't on the Bleacher Report stream, then you're probably going to ask. The scoregami, okay? It is not a scoregami. I wanted to cover that real quick. It is the second time in NFL history that a team has won a game 44-42. The second time ever, but it is not a scoregami. Okay, that I just wanted to make that clear because I know some people are interested in that and so forth, but it is not a scoregami. So that's what I wanted to say there. Good God, what a freaking game! Are you kidding me? I watched Kansas lose to Mizzou today. I'm waiting on pins and needles for Juan Soto to announce his decision. And I mean, he could very well go to the Mets. But I feel so complete in this moment because I can't stress enough. The Buffalo Bills are such a Super Bowl contender that they're no joke. And if the AFC ends up if the road goes through Buffalo, good luck beating them because they have the power. Did I say Soto to the Rams? I meant the Yankees. See, I'm already losing it. And I got a Soto live stream to do with Gary as well. But yeah, anyway, I love you guys for real. This is awesome. I see a lot of people are in here, over 800 people, but this is a win that this fan base, I think, needed. There's been a lot of they win, but they don't win fun. They don't blow teams out. They were up by 17 on the Bills. They were in control the entire game. The Bills, don't get me wrong, they had a chance to win. I had to wait until the final bell to me to feel like they won. But incredible game, and I just have so much respect for the Bills and their fans. I think they're some of the best fans in the world. And if they do end up winning the Super Bowl this year, they're the good guys. Let me make that very clear, regardless of the penalties today, which isn't on the Bills, and I can't stress that enough. It's not the Bills, okay? It's Craig Rolstad. It's the officials. I'm not blaming the Bills for getting a call, right? It sucks, but that's the way it goes, and the Rams had some calls as well, but we'll get into it. Craig Rolstad is terrible, by the way. The Rams overcame him, finally beat that issue there, but no, I give a lot of credit to Josh Allen. I think he proved today he is the best quarterback in the National Football League. I think he has. I will say this: I think he has surpassed Patrick Mahomes. I know that sounds crazy to say. I really believe he surpassed Patrick Mahomes. I just think that, I really feel like he's on another level. And the Rams today, because I know a lot of people are going to say, "Man, that defense was terrible." I don't really think the defense was terrible because in a game like this is just all-out war. The Kansas City Chiefs defense and the Rams defense in 2018 that went 54-51, there was a lot of good defense in that game. There was just better offense. And you know what? Sometimes you get into games where, you watch boxing or you watch UFC and, there's clinching and there's just, it's not going off the ground, right? It's not a rocket ship. And then all of a sudden, someone throws that haymaker, lands it directly on the cheek or the chin, and immediately after that, you start seeing, fisticuffs just start flying. That was today. The Rams, they set the tone early. I said in the preview today with my friend Dan Mitchell, I said it on the show with Z-Bot. I said it, when I went on Cover One. I can't stress it enough. The Rams have to get off to a good start. This is a Bills team that makes great second half adjustments, just like the Rams, but the Bills score more than the Rams do in the first half. And the Rams got off to such a good start. And you know what? What did I say? I said, look, the Rams are going to lose this game 34-24 and win out, right? They're going to win out after this game. But what did I say? Those of you who remember, what did I say if the Rams proved me wrong and beat the Bills? I said they're going to go on an effing tear. I couldn't be more proud of this team right now. I'm so glad I get to represent these fans and this team and get to have this show. And it's just so cool, man. Games like this, like, man, I almost got emotional watching it with my dad. It's just really cool, you know, and just like finishing it out. And I just gave him a big hug. He gave me a big hug. This is what sports are about. But make no mistake about it. While I am a fan and I'm a fan of this game, I love this sport so much. I also know this thing, you know, I know my stuff, and I owe it to you guys to at least try and have some analysis, that's, you know, worth, you know, listening to. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this game. I have to preface it by this. This is going to be an abbreviated show. This will not be 2 hours as much as I would like to. I owe the Yankees Unloaded faithful as well. There's a huge move waiting in the wings with Juan Soto. So I will be wrapping up this show in an hour or so. So no call-ins today. I'm going to be going live either later tonight or tomorrow to you know, pay you guys back for that, because you guys are the best, and I feel bad you know, not being able to do that. But I do have, you know, the Juan Soto thing to do with Gary. We already committed to it. I don't know what, you know, it's going to look like. I don't know if that deal is going to be made, you know, during this live stream, but good Lord, man, what a freaking game. Super chats, Bills Mafia 17, good game. Y'all deserve this. Appreciate you, Bills Mafia 17. Best of luck the rest of the way. And if the Rams aren't in the Super Bowl, definitely wouldn't mind seeing Josh Allen hoist the Lombardi trophy. Zaylor Swift, thank you for the 10. Aubrey Pleasant needs to go. This was a game that showed us why the Lions got rid of him. Also, Roseboom, he's the second string at best at any other team. Go Rams. Appreciate the 10. I'm just going to push back and say I don't think that's on Aubrey Pleasant. I don't think they're playing the best corner on the team. I've said that many times before. I don't want to come off as biased and go over the top and go on a rant. But as soon as they put 4 in, watch Josh Allen look over to him and said, nope, absolutely not throwing that ball over there. So I'll just say this. He's not in charge of who plays at cornerback. That, of course, is Chris Shula. So also, I thought the defense, again, had their moments, both good and bad. When you win a game like this, though, you're not facing Josh Allen every single week. So this isn't a new thing where they're going to give up 42 points a game. Like, let's be honest here, okay? This Josh Allen performance is Josh Allen, who probably locked up the MVP after tonight with that performance. So that's what I want to say there. Thank you for the 10. Gene, thank you for the 2. Stafford, Nakua, epic. Love McVay play calling. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fair to say that Nakua now... Okay, Puka Nakua has the same amount of chemistry between Matthew Stafford that Cooper Kupp had in 2021 when he won the Triple Crown. That's what I'm going to say. Truthfully. Puka Nakua, he is so effing good, it is not even up for debate. So good. Such a great player. I also want to give a shout out because I'm going to forget, but you know, one of the comments reminded me of it. Cam Kinchins had probably the pass breakup of the day. That was huge on 3rd down. Josh Allen went long. That was going to be a touchdown. And I mean, Darius Williams got absolutely torched. And it was just such a great pass breakup by a young player who didn't even look like he should be on the field earlier in the year. Made a really, really fundamentally sound pass breakup where he didn't do anything, you know, that would result in a flag. So a lot of credit to him. He deserves so much credit. His development and the coaching staff, what they've done with those guys. McAuliffe, shout out, by the way, Jake Hummel, incredible punt block. To me, that was the flip. That was the switch being flipped. I think the Bills win this game if he doesn't block that punt. This was an all-hands-on-deck game. Special teams was great. Defense had their moments, and the offense was humming. This was 2018, 2017, 2021 Sean McVay. End of 2023, Sean McVay at his finest. And anybody that wants to move on from Matthew Stafford after this season can actually do yourself a favor and learn the sport, because you don't even know what you're watching if you're ready to move on from Matthew Stafford, who is a top 5 quarterback in the league, and he's not 5. I'd say right now it's Josh Allen, Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, and Stafford in any order you want to put them in. I'd say Stafford's a better quarterback than Lamar. He just doesn't have that athleticism. But I think best pure pocket passer is definitely Stafford. He's just absolutely incredible and just does not get enough love. So obviously, I think Rams fans give him a lot of love. But lately, it's just been a lot of, oh yeah, Stafford's an issue. Stafford's an issue. Well, no, he's not. Okay, he's not. He's not an issue. And I'm gonna put up his stats right now because I wanted to see what the thing is. But let's see here. Okay. So Stafford threw for 320 and 2 touchdowns, 132.6 passer rating. He has just been on an absolute tear. That's 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And he's over 3,000 yards on the year. He's probably around 3,200. He's so good. He is so good, and just as good as you think he is, he's that much better. So got to give him a lot of credit. Matthew, thank you so much for the 10. First, the MFing team trying to give me a heart attack. Second, Josh Allen is a freaking beast. Third, their O-line is so good. Fourth, we are better than what our record indicates. Fifth, beat them Niners. Yeah. This Rams team is one of the best in the league in its current state. Is it going to stay this way? I think it is. I think we're once again looking at 2023 all over again. And by the way, when people said I was crazy, they said there's no way this team's going to win the Super Bowl. They said there's no way this team is good enough to get to the playoffs, because I had a few people that said that. This was my vision. For the first time this year, they are healthy up front, all the way from left tackle to right tackle, back-to-back games. And oh my God, what is that? They just scored 44 points. Now, obviously, I'm aware the blocked punt, accounted for 7 of that. But still. And by the way, shout out to Hunter Long, who in the throw-in deal for Jalen Ramsey didn't catch his first touchdown. He actually took in a punt block, if you could believe that. I don't think anybody would have expected that to be his first touchdown as a Ram. So this team is dangerous. It's like I said, and people said I was crazy as well. If they beat Buffalo, they're going to go on an effing tear. And I'll say there's one team in particular that doesn't want to see this team, and that is the Detroit Lions, who have beaten this team on a no call at the end of the game, 24-23, and in overtime with a 4th string left tackle and a bunch of injuries on the offense, and no Puka Nacua. Yeah, I don't think this Lions team wants to see the Rams again. And by the way, no sacks, no turnovers, and no Tyler Higbee, who is going to be ready sooner than later. So very healthy team right now. Let's keep it going. I thought the Bills did a great job in mitigating the pass rush, but when they got pressure, Josh Allen made them pay. So it was almost better they didn't get the pressure that they've gotten all year. But that's a Buffalo Bills offensive line that can freaking block. And that's a big testament to the job that, Aaron Kromer does for them, former Rams offensive line coach, who was the offensive line coach when the Rams won the Built Ford Tough Offensive Line of the Year award back in 2018. He knows what he's doing. And I thought those guys just absolutely kicked ass up front, made it tough for the Rams, but the Rams won this game. Run game is doing really well. Pass game is back. There's a lot to really like about what you're seeing with the LA Rams. And by the way, they've won 6 of their last 8. So, yes, to make it clear, this team now, by the way, 3-3 on the road. They've won 3 straight road games. They're now 4-3 at home. They're 7-6. Are they better than the record indicates? Absolutely. But now they just got to figure it out. They got to beat the Niners. They got to beat the Jets. They got to beat the Seattle Seahawks. And they got to beat the Arizona Cardinals. And by the way, if they win out, they win the division. It's really that simple. Now there's no doubt about it. They control their own destiny. If they win out, that means that they would play the Seattle Seahawks yet again. They would beat them if they won out. And now you're looking at 11-6, and they will win that division, and they'll be in a really good position to get the 3rd seed instead of the 4th seed because of how bad, no one's talking about it, but how bad that NFC South looks right now. So just a huge, huge, huge win that means so much to this team, to this organization, these fans, and for the season. Deb, thank you so much for the 10. Wait, Stafford is washed. Let's trade him. He should really have had more than 350 yards passing. Absolutely agree. They took that away from him. The Demarcus Robinson play was awful. There was a lot of things that were really bad, but again, both teams had some bad calls on them. Terrible officiating, but you're able to win a game like that. That says a lot. That really says a lot to overcome that. Anthony Cruz, thank you for the 2. Great win. Horns up from 702 Rams Club. Appreciate you, Anthony. Derek M. Let's see. Thank you for the 5. Let's keep this momentum going. Go Rams. Absolutely. SoCal Ram, thank you for the 2. Jake, go against the Rams next week again. I hate to break it to you, but I am not going to be going against the Rams anytime soon. That looks like one of the best teams in the National Football League after today. And if you have an offense that can move and hums like that, oh my God, let me just tell you right now, this team can make them pay. Ray, 37 months of being a member. Appreciate you there. Also just wanted to let you guys know that today's sponsor is Prize Picks, and you guys can use my promo code JKBogan, and you're going to get $50 instantly when you sign up and you play a $5 lineup, whether you win or lose. So big time stuff there. They got all sorts of stuff. Picksmith is coming up soon. So, you're going to see all sorts of stuff. The Chiefs on December 15th, you're going to be able to have a free square. Patrick Mahomes is going to be 0.5 passing yards. So definitely be sure to get in on that. And the Sunday Night Football game is underway right now, but the Monday Night Football game is not. And I'll tell you right now, you can go on Prize Picks, and there are some options here. The way the Dallas Cowboys have played at home, and the way this defense looks, I think I'm going to be picking all the mores, if you will, more or less. I'm going to go more on Joe Burrow passing yards, more on Jamar Chase receiving yards, and I'm going to go with a touchdown for Chase Brown. I also think Brandon Cooks is going to catch caught a touchdown in his first game back from the IR. So you can do that over on Prize Picks. Be sure JK Bogan is the promo code. Be sure to use it. And it helps me out, but also helps out Prize Picks and helps you out too if you know what you're doing. All right. I Stomp Casuals for Fun. Member for a month. Thank you. Deuce Falco, thank you for the 10. Thursday night game is a must win. Rams have to beat the Wanderers. It is. It's actually weird how this worked. So the Rams, while they're in a great position here at 7-6, or a good position, I don't want to say great, but a good position, you still have the 49ers. Where if the 49ers beat the Rams, now they're 7-7, the Rams are 7-7. The thing that hurts the 49ers is that they'd be 2-3 again in the division. The Rams would drop to 2-2, which would make it a tough one. But the Arizona Cardinals are also, they're now 2-2 in the division. So, the Rams, if they win, will have that tiebreaker, there. And then Seattle is 3-2 in the division. So Seattle has one more game, and it's against the LA Rams. The Rams are going to want to win at least 2 of the next 3 divisional games. Obviously, you want to win out. But if you're going to lose, you got to at least win 2 of those to get that 4-2 division record there. So let's just be honest with ourselves. This team is just getting started. They announced themselves today. There's a lot of good. We're going to unpack it as the season goes on. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Over 190 likes. We got over 900 people in here, kind of flirting with 1,000. So definitely be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. We're approaching 29,000 subscribers, and let me see where we're at because I am so bad at keeping track of it. Not really. I just exaggerate, as you know. So we are at 28,908. And apparently there was another live stream that was dropped. That's weird. I didn't know that. Okay, so it put out another live stream and then ended it. But I like where we're at right now. So, yeah. What a game. Chris, my friend, going to Niner game on Thursday. Super excited. And, yes, one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen. When I did a video on Craig Rolstad before the Lions game, and I said, this is a problem, he is going to affect the game, I was serious. I really don't like blaming the refs. I think you can play through a lot of, unfortunate circumstances, and there's stuff that you will gloss over that bails out you against the other team. But good God, was I right? Like, I know a lot of people were like, come on, Jake, stop bringing up Craig Rolstad. No, this guy has been a thorn in the Rams' side. The last 3 outings, they're 0-3, and they've all come down to the wire in those games. And I just couldn't believe the way this game ended because I thought for sure he was going to throw the flag and screw them. It sure looked that way. I think that's the longest I've gone without taking a sip of my water. I was literally losing my voice, like just so dead at that point. Oh, man. What a freaking game, though. Like, are you serious? Like, it's incredible, man. It really is. And I'm so happy. Yeah, it's water. I'm just so happy because I can't stress enough when you already have given up on a game, because I assumed that they would lose this game. They'd play tough, but they would lose. I assumed that they would lose and win out and go 10-7. Why can't they go 11-6? Why can't they win every game the rest of the year? Why can't they get the 3 seed? Why can't they end up playing the Lions and get revenge in the playoffs? Why can't they go and play the Eagles and have a different result even in Philly? The Eagles are beatable. They're very, very good, but that Rams team, that was not the same Rams team of today. I'm not saying the Bills had the best defense in the league, but come on. There's just so much to like about this game. And again, when you have a game like this, the last thing I'm going to do is start nitpicking the defense. They got the job done. I don't care. I thought there were some bad calls that screwed them. I didn't like the call that I didn't like, not the call. I didn't like that Byron Young hit Josh Allen late. I was against the blowback of that. I actually agreed with that call, but I also understand why some people would say that was BS. I do find it funny that Darius Williams 4 years later had a call in the end zone again in the fourth quarter at the end of the game against the Bills. It just didn't cost him this time. Craig tried to screw us, but we were too big to rig. Hey, I like it, HAV. Appreciate you. Yeah, what can you say? Just huge game. I do want to see more, and we saw Jumbo today. We saw Jumbo with the Bills. That's what I want. When the Bills brought in an extra offensive lineman at the goal line, I want to see more of that because you got something that a lot of teams don't have. You have a starting caliber guard on your roster that isn't playing because you're that talented up front. There's no room for him. So, I would be using Jonah Jackson in those opportunities. I'd be using Jonah Jackson like the way the Detroit Lions use Dan Skipper, the way the Bills have that 6th offensive lineman. That's how I would be using him. I want to see that. Yes, that 4th and 5 call was so big. The throw to Atwell, and how about Atwell? Atwell is way too good to only get 3 targets in a game. 3 for 45. Are you kidding me? He was huge. He's been huge. No matter what anyone says, Tutu Atwell just delivers. He just doesn't get opportunities. Very, very limited opportunities, but he always delivers. If they let him actually play, man. Atwell could easily have 1,000 yards. Because I said it before, I'll say it again. Tutu Atwell is no different than Marquise Brown when he was healthy, Hollywood Brown. He's that type of player. I really believe that. SoCal Ram, thank you for the 2. They need to use Jay Witt in fullback packages. They need to use Jay Witt more in general. They definitely need to use him in the passing game. But I just, there are nitpicks, obviously, but you win a game like this, especially Amari Cooper had a good day, and Khalil Shakir had a good day, and Josh Allen had an incredible day. Man, what can you say? What can you say that hasn't been said? Josh Allen is just special. And they were able to win this game. It's just. But you got Puka Nacua, you got Kyron Williams. I mean, both guys have 2 touchdowns. Then you forget about Cooper Kupp for a second. Now he's catching a seam buster. And, oh, man, it's just they're having fun. They're back. They really are back. Stafford averaged 10.7 yards per pass. It's crazy. It really is. So we're going to see. I mean, looking at the way it stands right now, I'm trying to see real quick what this means. Let's see if they're... that was... What the hell? Okay. So they have the Rams at a 28% chance. Or they had them before beating the Bills. Now the Rams have a 40% chance of making the playoffs. And they have a 2% chance of the wild card, 3% chance of hosting the wild card, and a 60% chance of getting eliminated. If they win against the 49ers, that percentage goes up to 54. And if they lose to the 49ers, that percentage drops to 26. So I think they're going to beat the 49ers. I think they're going to beat the Jets, although that Jets game is going to be very similar to the Giants game. I think the 49er game is going to be a tough one. Don't just assume the 49ers are cooked. They're very much alive in this one. They did not lose. They freaking blew out the Bears 38-13. I mean, people really thought the Bears were going to go into Santa Clara and win. I don't know. But they're not done. They know that. And they got a bone to pick with the Rams since they beat them. They beat them the last time. So on the road, short week, physical game against the Bills, you don't want to let down. So I'm anticipating and I'm expecting Sean McVay to not have these guys have that letdown. Step up, beat the 49ers, then beat the Jets. I'll be at that game, week 16, which, again, by the way, I think is going to be very similar to the Giants. They're a team that is going to be scrappy. Their defense is really good. Aaron Rodgers, can still make plays when he has to. And, they're finding things with, guys like Davis and Isaiah Davis, the running back, and Braylon Allen. They have Devontae Adams. They have Garrett Wilson. They got a lot of weapons. So that game is not going to be easy. But the Rams essentially need to win back-to-back games on the road. That would finish up the season. If they do that, they've now won 5 road games in a row. And if they win those 3 games, they have a 62% chance of making the playoffs. If they beat the Cardinals, that is a 90% chance of making the playoffs. And if they win out, they make the playoffs. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So the Rams right now control their own destiny. If they win out, they win the division. They will host a wild card game. SoFi Stadium will be selling a playoff ticket. A lot of people probably didn't expect. But if they lose any of those games, then, they're going to need some help and what have you. So, we're going to see how that goes. SoCal, appreciate the 2. How am I feeling? I'm feeling good. I mean, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling kind of euphoric, if anything. I mean, this is crazy. I picked them to lose this game by 10, and they end up scoring 44. They haven't done anything close to that all year. So, I'm feeling great. Sonny, the Rams fan, thank you for the 5. What's up, Jake? Thank you for all the videos. I look forward to the live streams after each game. Hope to see you at the Jets game. You will, Sonny. And absolutely appreciate you watching the videos. Alex, my guy, Double X Alex, thank you for the 5. Jake, digging the Matt Murdock glasses. Goes with the theme of people who are blind, aka Craig. Roll whatever. Huge W. Let's get Kello on the field. I couldn't agree more. And I do want to discuss that a little bit because it's my platform, my show, and I know people have an issue with it. But do you see now why I just am really high on the idea of Kello Witherspoon playing? If Darius Williams was balling out and Kobe Durant is playing the way he's playing, because he should stay on the field. Darius Williams is not balling out, okay? I would say Darius Williams is playing kind of the same as Trey White. Trey White, by the way, has played much better since he went to the Ravens. So it's a little frustrating to see that, but it's really frustrating because you think that they're doing that move to give Kello an opportunity, and then all of a sudden, you know, Kello barely plays this game. They used him at the very end of the fourth quarter. Shocker, I know. Josh Allen wouldn't even throw his way as soon as he entered the game. And then last week, he doesn't even play a down, right? So, yeah, a little frustrating there. Temple Hills Funk, thank you for becoming a new member. I appreciate you. Man, it's a really good feeling, though, you know, right now. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things that can happen between now and then. You know, currently, as it stands right now, I mean, if the Rams win out the way the schedule is, they go 11-6, which is now very possible. It does not matter what Seattle does. If they lose week 18, they win every game except for that last game against the Seattle Seahawks. They would both finish 11-6, and that would be that. So that's what I'll say there. Let's see. All right. Gary just texted me that Soto is about to make a decision. SoCal Ram 88. These are the big wins that make the fan base grow. Absolutely. Guys, they haven't beaten the Bills since I was there at Ralph Wilson in 2012. I was a sophomore in high school the last time the Rams beat the Bills. The Bills beat the Rams at the Coliseum in, was that 2017? They beat the Rams at Ralph Wilson in 2020, the COVID year. The Rams came back from 25 down. Horrible call at the end. They lost to the Bills in that one by Tyler Kraft catching the touchdown. 2022, they lose on banner night. They're hanging their Super Bowl banner, and they lose 31-10. They go into a wild tailspin. And then this year, they win 44-42. And this is the best iteration of the Bills that I've seen in the McDermott era. Just fantastic. HAV, oh my God, D-Will was killing me this game. They finna put Kello in. They need to put 4 on the field. I absolutely agree. Let's see. By the way, at the end of the game, I know that was a little weird. Like, do you punt? Do you take a snap and try to like run out the clock and then just toss it deep down the field and just take a penalty? Like, what do you do? My plan with 7 seconds left, Tutu Atwell played quarterback in high school. I would have had a direct snap to Tutu Atwell, had him run back and just run around and then bring himself down once the clock went to 0. And I think it would have worked. But we got the win anyway, so I don't really care. But that would have been my plan on how I would have wrapped up the game. Man. Robert, thank you so much for the super sticker. $20. Thank you. You are amazing. You're amazing. Carlos, respectfully, because I see your draft question, I do not care at all about the draft right now. There's one guy I really like that I... Wait, what? Hold on a sec. You said Passan announced. I don't see anything that was announced. Oh, boy. Well, the Soto situation is going to come to a head this evening, it looks like. So we're going to find out soon. I just saw Hayden Winks tweet out. I can't even talk. Rams versus Bills is the first game in NFL history to have over 850 combined yards with 0 turnovers and 0 sacks. Flawless offense. That is crazy. Oh, BC is calling it to be the Super Bowl. I thought, yeah, the whole O-line was just so good, man. It's funny because people are going to use these analytics and they're going to use these stats, and it's just not the full scope of the game. Like, it's just not. So people will say, oh, yeah, the Rams, EPA, for the year, they're one of the worst defenses in the league. Or they're one of the worst teams in the league. Or they're offense. Dude, the Rams season really just got started. This is who they were. This is what they were expected to be. The only difference is that they made an adjustment on Trey White not being a starting corner this year. Right? Because he was supposed to start. Trey White, they made a decision on Omar Speights starting, who wasn't initially planned to start. They started using the cheetah package, having 3 edge defenders on the field at the same time. That's working very well in Michael Hoyt, Jared Verse, and I almost said Braden Fisk, but Byron Young. And then on the offensive side, they were expected to have a little bit more out of Tyler Higbee, I think, to this point, and they didn't get him back yet, so whatever. But, yeah, I mean, the offense is not... I think the only difference that they thought going into the season is that the offense would have more Jonah Jackson. So the season just started. Season just started. That's how I see it. And man, how, if you're a Seahawks fan, you feel good. They're on a roll, right? But if you're, 49ers, especially Cardinals, how are you feeling right now with the Rams winning and beating the Bills the way they did? And that's the thing. I mean, that's the way to look at it, is like, when you win a game like this, all right, like, let's look around the league. Because again, it comes back down to the fact that these stats don't really show the perfect picture. They kind of lie because the Rams haven't been healthy all year. So now that they're healthy, this is who they are. They're 2-0 since they became fully healthy, without Tyler Higbee, of course. But, I mean, guys, you look across the board, the Rams have a negative 34-point differential. But do you think that's who they are? Absolutely not. That's not. Right now, that's not who they are. I mean, who's really better in the NFC outside from the Eagles and Lions right now? Although I think the Rams match up really well, against the Lions. But the Rams are one game out of, the wild card. So even if they don't win the division, they are on the Washington Commanders' heels. And I'll tell you this right now, the Commanders have the Saints, which I think they win, but that's going to be in New Orleans. Derek Carr might not play. So I would probably take the Commanders 9-5, take the Eagles 9-6, Falcons desperate 9-7, Cowboys in Dallas. They seem to be turning it around. When Micah Parsons plays, they're a different team. The point is, I think that there could be, and I like the Commanders. I really do. I think they're a fun story. I had them winning 9 games before the season, almost put them in the playoffs, but I bought into the Bears for whatever reason. That was stupid. But the thing is, guys, if the Commanders fall off, we're going to see potentially a 2 NFC West team playoff. And I do think that is what we could see. I think it's going to be Rams, Seahawks, potentially in the NFC playoffs. I think Seattle right now, the way they're playing, their defense, they're rolling, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to stop this Rams passing attack. I just don't. If this continues, man, I don't know. So crazy stuff, but right now, how many teams would I take ahead of the Rams right now? Because I don't even know if I would take the Chiefs right now. I don't think the Chiefs would beat the Rams. The offense isn't impressive. Rams went up against good defenses and they've had success. I do not think for a second the Rams would lose to the Chiefs right now. And I'm just talking about what this team is the last 2 games, who they are. They beat the Chiefs. I think that they could lose to the Bills because I think if they played in Buffalo, that game could be different. If they played in a Super Bowl, that game could be different. But I think that they would beat the Chiefs. I think they can lose to the Bills. That's a 50-50, as we just saw. I think they'd beat the Steelers. I think they'd beat the Texans, the Chargers, the Ravens, the Broncos, the Colts, the Dolphins, obviously, all those teams. And then in the NFC, I mean, really, I think they'd beat any team. That's what I'm getting at. They just beat the Bills. So, like, what team, when the Rams are humming like this, is better than them? There might be teams like the Broncos that play better defense, but you're not getting this offense against Buffalo. And by the way, you might end up facing Buffalo in the wild card 2 versus 7 seed. So let me make it very clear. Josh Allen, I trust to beat any good defense, but I don't necessarily trust you to go toe-to-toe with Josh Allen if you're a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. So that's kind of where I'm at. This game changes everything. I need people to understand how incredible this game was. This really changes everything that we know about the LA Rams because this really kind of just sets us back. Obviously, they got to prove it. I'm not going to write in that they're just going to win the Super Bowl. But there was a reason I picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl. So I'm just going to say it. I mean, right now, this iteration of the Rams and the job that they did the last 2 games with a fully healthy offensive line, you can see it. You can see it. Do you know how much pressure that was to go toe-to-toe with Josh? Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns, and that wasn't enough. And you can't tell me, oh, well, the Rams had home field advantage. Yeah, and the Bills made that a 50-50 home field. Bills fans travel well. You can't even tell me that. The Rams are operating on a silent count. The only time the Rams aren't operating on a silent count is if it's the Cardinals or maybe even the Seahawks at SoFi. Or a lesser organization. Like, the Rams almost always operate on a silent count. But yes, I agree, except here's the deal. I don't think Emmanuel Forbes is ready to just be thrown in there. I don't. I would bench Darius Williams. It won't happen. They won the game, but I would bench Darius Williams for Akello Witherspoon. That's about the only. Well, I would start using more jumbo packages and giving a sixth offensive lineman in there, on those obvious running, rushing downs, with Jonah Jackson. I would use Tutu Atwell more. And what else would I use? Oh, and then Tyler Higbee. I will say this. I don't think Tyler Higbee is going to play the 49er game. I just don't. But I think Tyler Higbee will be playing his first game against the Jets. And that excites me. That does excite me. So we're going to see. But, man, it's truly remarkable. Guys, be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And go tell somebody about my channel if you haven't already. Because, we're trying to grow here. And, man, it's a fun time. Right now, it is a fun time to be a Rams fan. This is a really, really good response. Since the Eagles game, this team has won 2 straight. They won once on the road in a hostile environment in New Orleans, and they just beat the freaking Buffalo Bills, who are one of the quickest teams in NFL history to clinch a playoff spot. It's the 5th quickest that any team has clinched a playoff spot. So this team is really freaking good, and the Rams just won. So I feel like I'm just talking in circles, but I'm really excited. I just really think the future is bright. Regardless of how the rest of the season goes down, Stafford is coming back in 2025. I just don't see him leaving, and I don't see the Rams moving on from him. Do you go out and get Drew Allar from Penn State in the draft and pair him with maybe Tyler Warren? I like both of those guys, the tight end and, of course, the quarterback, and have Warren be a part of this, but have Allar sit behind Stafford. I think that would be pretty cool. But, we'll see. We'll see how it works out. I just think currently right now, this is exactly why I was so hyped about this team going into the season. And I feel like it took a long time, but week 14, we finally saw this Rams team play to the level that I believe that they could play at, and I think a lot of you did. That's just how I feel. Deuce Falco, thank you for the 10. Well, it's strange. Rock, paper, scissors. Rams beat Bills, beat Vikings, lost to Cardinals. You have to feel where they should be. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's funny, their 2 best wins this year, the best they've looked, they didn't do it against bad teams. They did it against the Vikings, who have lost, I think, 2 games all year, and they did it against the Bills. Those are 2 pretty big wins. Like, if we're talking college football, I mean, the resume on those wins, it's huge. So, yeah, unbelievable. Hank, thank you for the 5. I'm here to say Stafford played extremely well. I've been critical of him, but today he performed ideal for the stage. Great game. Puka is a superstar. Hey, appreciate you, Hank. Hey, it happens, man. I've been critical of players and coaches, and I've been critical of McVay. I love him, but I'm critical of him. And he's just continued to step up down the stretch here. I think the play calling is a lot better than it used to be. And I'm excited for what the future is, because now you can run long developing plays. Now you can use play action. Now you can use jet sweeps and jet motions and all of that. Now you have wide receiver bubble screens that are working to perfection. And look at the way Stafford throws the screen. He doesn't just throw it behind the receiver. He doesn't throw it just at the receiver. He leads the receiver. And when you do that with Puka Nacua and he gets a head full of steam, you're talking about a guy that can already make plays after the catch, can break any tackle, does just a really nice job of moving the chains. But when you give him that extra oomph and you're able to throw it out in front of him and he can make plays on the run, yeah, that is special. Plus, and I said this during the game to my father, while everybody is so focused on Puka Nacua, it's the gift that keeps on giving, because eventually teams are going to be like, we can't let this guy beat us. And I think teams already, I don't know how much they forget. I can't confirm this, but it doesn't feel like they forget about Cooper Kupp. They forget that Cooper Kupp isn't bad. Like, he's still really good. Like, he's still one of the top receivers in the league. Puka Nacua is probably still better, but, Cooper Kupp, when they need him, he's available. And that's the thing. I think that, you look at, he only had 18 yards last week. Who gives a rip? Stafford went from not throwing for 200 yards last week, which, by the way, this shows that the Rams can win in different ways. they checked the box. They won in a way I didn't expect them to win. I said on shows with everybody I talked to, I did not think this team would win in a blowout. I thought this team had to have been like a 24-21 game, and they won a 44-42 game. Just a hell of a performance. Sean McVay, the entire coaching staff, the players, to get up for this one. I mean, after the Eagles game, that could have been their season, guys. 37-20 game. You give up 225 or 255 yards on the ground to Saquon Barkley out in front of your audience. This was the game where you're like, all right, we are going to get over the hump where you're going to get to 6-5. It's going to happen. No, it doesn't. They go to 5-6, and then they beat the Saints on the road in a game that was close, but really the Rams dominated the second half. And then this game, it's just a sign. And this is where we when we talk about pedigree, having championship pedigree and having coaching ability and having leadership, do you think every single coach in the league is capable of this? Absolutely not. They're just not. The Rams, keep this in mind. Last year, the Rams started 3-6. They won 7 of their last 8. This year, the Rams started 1-4. Since then, they've beaten the Raiders. They've beaten the Vikings. They beat Seattle. They beat the Patriots. They beat the Saints. They beat the Bills. So if you go back to after the bye week, I think the Raiders was before the bye week, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, no, it was after. Ugly game. Yeah, after. So 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2. They're 6-2 since the bye. That's who the Los Angeles Rams are. They don't win pretty all the time. They do have some of those miscues. They still have a young team, but now that they're healthy, this is more so what they're going to be. They're probably going to regress a little bit in the next game. I don't think they're going to be dropping 40 plus against the 49ers. I just don't. But at the same time, don't sleep on this team either. So that's how I would look at that, going forward with this team. I'm just really excited to see what ends up happening here because, yeah, like I said, do not sleep on the Rams. I think and another thing here, the Rams won this game without a lot of pressure as well. This is probably the worst pressure game they had on the defensive side. And I just want to give them credit for being able to overcome that. Also, again, I mentioned earlier, but I want to give credit where credit's due to guys like Cam Kinchins, who had the huge pass breakup. I thought you saw some really good things, especially in the run game early on. Bobby Brown, you had a really nice pass breakup by Kobe Durant. And by the way, Darius Williams really struggled today, but that call in the red zone, that call in the end zone was BS, man. That was BS if there ever was. So, that's the thing. When I understand, D. Will had many opportunities to make plays, and he didn't get it done. I get that, but to call that was absolutely insane. To give him the automatic first down, put it at the 1 yard line that happened to him 4 years ago as well. But that was just a BS call. By the way, Christian Benford is really freaking good at playing football and coverage. Got to give him a lot of credit over on the other side. He's just a guy that really stood out to me. I thought the Rams really kept Greg Rousseau quiet, and this is a guy that could absolutely have destroyed this game. It's amazing what happens when you have a top 5 quarterback in the NFL and you have protection that looked like a top 5 offensive line, and then you have Kyron Williams running the football well, and you got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. It's amazing that a team like that can score 44. It's almost like maybe those things make sense. There's a reason for them. So Rams it's not going to be easy, but they are winnable games. There's not one David versus Goliath game. I thought this was a David versus Goliath game until I watched it, and I'm like, at no point in this game did the Rams feel like they didn't control, even though the Bills scored 21 points in the fourth quarter, and you got to give them a lot of credit there. Rams only scored 6, but this Rams team came to play, and that's really all you can ask for when it comes down to it. So where do they go the rest of by the way, they were 11 of 15 on third down, which was huge. But where they go from here, we're going to find out. Thursday night football game, going to have all sorts of coverage. Really excited for this week. I think the videos are going to be popping. more live streams. But I can't stress enough. This is the game of the year. This is Sean McVay's most impressive regular season win. And this team can win the whole damn thing if they continue to do what they did today and stay healthy. It's really that simple. The only team that can really stop the Rams is the Rams. That's how I feel. So, yeah, the short week is going to be a little scary, but I just don't expect to see a Sean McVay team that just got healthy, that could even have Tyler Higbee this week. We'll see. I don't expect that team to come out flat on a short week. The Rams normally do very well on Thursday night. I expect them to do the same against the 49ers and keep it rolling. So we'll find out. I'll see quite a few of you at the Jets game, I would imagine, as well. That'll be in 2 weeks. So really looking forward to that. But enjoy it, man. Hell of a win. Really exciting. I don't really have too much to say. I want to do call-ins, but I also have to cover the whole Juan Soto news, which appears to be imminent. So we're kind of waiting on our heels here. I do cover the Yankees, for those of you who don't know yet. So that's why. But otherwise, I mean, I'd be on here taking calls and what have you. So we're going to do the call-ins tomorrow. We're going to talk tomorrow. We're going to have more stuff. Plenty of content throughout the week. We'll get you guys ready for the 49er game. Doing a collaboration with Jesse Naylor, who's a really good friend of mine and one of the hosts. I almost said a quarter, but we also have Z-Bot. So one of the hosts, the 49ers representative of NFC West Roundtable. So, you know, that is that. But, yeah, and probably some other stuff as well. Really excited for the collabs upcoming, and might have, we'll see how it goes, but I'm just going to throw this out there. Let me know in the comments after the fact or in the chat if you want to, but I'm considering doing a show that would take place all throughout the year. Really no set schedule, but if you guys have ever seen the Joe Rogan podcast, how he just interviews whoever, I want to do something like that. So I'm considering doing that. If you guys would want to see that, drop a hell yeah in the chat. But that's going to do it. I want to, I've gotten used to it. I've gotten better at it, but I don't think you ever get used to having over 800 people in your stream and having to say goodbye to all of you. So I love you guys. This has been a fun year. It's been frustrating at times. It's been a mess at times, but we never wavered. I never left you guys in the dark, and you never left me in the dark. If you guys keep coming, obviously I'm going to keep coming, making these videos, and I really appreciate you. So this is not the end. Obviously, we are going to do more content tomorrow. We'll have the live stream, all of that. This is just goodbye for now. So if you guys want to check me out I'm going to be live streaming with Gary over on the Yankees platform, Yankees Unloaded. So if you were a Yankee fan and a Rams fan, well, good news for you. You got me twice if you're a fan of my content. If you're not, no big deal. If you're a fan of this whole Juan Soto news, you're a baseball fan, definitely check it out. But also be sure to check out Prize Picks, which, of course, like I mentioned, my picks, you're going to put more for Joe Burrow passing yards, more for Jamar Chase receiving yards, and throw a touchdown in there, guaranteed touchdown for Chase Brown. All right. In addition to that, also go with Brandon Cooks touchdown as well. I like Brandon Cooks touchdown. Or go with more for his receiving yards. But that's going to do it. So appreciate you guys. Hopefully Soto's with the Yankees. Not that a lot of you Dodger fans care, but hopefully Soto chooses the Yankees. But even if he doesn't, in this moment, you can't upset me, because what that game was, that meant so much to this fan base. That meant so much to this community. Meant so much to me and every Rams fan out there. It's been a frustrating season at times. It's been exciting. Let's look at the positives here. Let's not be negative. The Rams have won 6 of the last 8. Those are the facts. And this is one of the best teams in the league currently and can beat anybody on any given Sunday now that they're fully healthy. So that's all I got for you guys. Appreciate you. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Later, folks.